Oh, I'll see if anyone comes in for a coffee chat. Strange. Seeing what's going on this morning. Bonkers. Anyone comes in for a start, it might be a dodgy time. Mind you. Okay. 2 o'clock and it's a little bit early. So, if anyone is there, say hi, because I never tell on this. News is even though we know it's about Notre Dame, or the cathedral. Michelle Obama rubbishes the Queen's royal protocol. Well, surprise, surprise. Hi, Sleeping Warrior. I'm just seeing if anyone comes in because it's the cathedral thing going on. There's lots going on with the cathedral thing. Also, a mosque is burning as well in Jerusalem, I believe. So, Mike is clipping, move closer. I don't want to move close yet because nobody's in a bad view. Can't get any closer to it. Under my face. How art thou? Well, tired. Moon time. I knew I should have done this later because I don't know who's going to come in. I'm just going to start yakking on my thoughts of what's going on with it all. Cut my nails. Hi, Curious looking inside. Good morning. Yeah, so last night, it'll be a bit random as well. I caught Trump talking about the horrific fire in France, the Notre Dame sort of, I don't even know if I say it right, cathedral. And I was like, oh, right, didn't I? But anyway, went to sleep, woke up this morning early, saw Fifth World talking about it, showing some stuff on it. She should have been in bed, but she was doing her stuff on it. So, anyway, I was listening to her this morning, half asleep, and then watched a bit of the news on the cathedral because I didn't know there was a mosque also in Jerusalem as well. And also, someone talked about UFOs and orbs seen at the site. Also, there was somebody seen somewhere on the top of the cathedral where there should have been no workers. There was no workers when they were trying to put the fire out, and a guy's walking past. I mean, I had to laugh. Not that it's a laughing matter, but I had to laugh because it was on Twitter and someone was saying it was Hunchback of Notre Dame. Someone was saying, oh, clearly it's a workman in a high-vis vest because no one was supposed to be on it. No, it wasn't. It wasn't even bright yellow. I think you can tell the difference between a high-vis, that's why it's called high-vis vest, compared to someone wearing white and a white and brown or something. It was not a workman in a high vis, what the right word is, vest at all. I don't know if anyone saw that. Might be able to show you on Joe Mass Pose. That is not someone in a high vis vest at all. I don't think it is. Well, whatever it is anyway, even if it was out of focus, it's either someone who shouldn't have been there, and why are they there if there's a fire raging through and there was supposed to be no one up there. You know, like mainstream media always say, there's looking for someone, they've got someone when there's something else going on. Also, I'm wondering on the lines of, because it doesn't matter if there's 7 people in, see, if you're there, say hi. Was the cathedral, because don't forget there's a mosque in Jerusalem as well. Now I'm wondering, with a lot of the stuff we know about the satanical side of stuff, some people might not know that, but that is what's going on around the world. Has this fire either been a distraction for stuff that's going down, because we know about their distractions? Are they trying to destroy history stuff that, you know, is like Macron said, but if Macron said it, I'm like, because he was like on his speech, oh, it's historical and to do with our wars and all that. I thought, yeah, you're the ones that caused the wars, you elites. So is it one of them things where when that was built, it was a nice place? I don't know. Was it a good place, or is it being used for something nefarious and that's why it's being burnt down? Or are they burning it down because it was something that was good, or it's for a distraction, if anyone gets what I'm saying? Because we all know a lot of buildings are built on ley lines and they harvest energy. And now when you think of the Vatican's not what some people think it is. Oh, it's a holy place. Well, it might have been, but they've been using it for, that some of us are beginning to learn, for satanical rituals. I'm just saying, I'm just chucking it out there. Is that what that cathedral's being used for? I don't know. The spire fell down. We know, a lot of us know, that spires have electrical wires and things in them to conduct free energy, I believe, you know, because they're quite high up, them cathedrals. They're bigger than churches, they're massive. And that fell down, the steeply bit, or whatever you call it, the spire, whatever you call it. I'm just wondering, because certain buildings lay on certain ley lines, and it is making me wonder. They go on about the 7 wonders of the world. The 7 wonders of the world are supposed to match up with the 7, I'm not going to say planets, I'm going to say planes, because I believe we live on a plane. And if you take the T off planets, it's planes, and they always muddle everything up with words. 7 wonders of the world, which Trump said the other day in a speech. Melania's been to Egypt, you should go, the 7 wonders, but then he said 8, and then he went back to 7. Are there 8 wonders? Has one been hidden? Are they all in connection with the way things work? Like the planes, well, they like to say planets work with us, as above, so below, as within, so without. Anyone gets what I'm saying? Did these get hijacked to harness negative energy? Are we, if it's on the good side of, it's happened for a reason, for good, meaning it's being brought down, so they're being burnt down, these places of worship. What worship? But they're going to be, they're saving the high important bits, but they're going to be rebuilt. Because don't forget, France were using billions or whatever to euros to rebuild that, and it all happened with this reconstruction. They could rebuild it back to what it was meant to be for positive energy harvesting, because that's what I believe some of these, it might sound mad to some people, these wonders of the world are, or certain quite big buildings are built on ley lines and it harvests a lot of energy. So I believe if you're in a lot of negative stuff going on around the world, that's how they pump out the negative vibes everywhere as well, if anyone gets what I'm saying. A bit like Tesla's Wi-Fi 5G sort of thing. It's on the natural grid, Earth's grid, because as above, so below. They want to do it above us with the, what would you call it, AI grid thing, matrix, whatever, I don't know. And then you've got the earthly, natural, organic grid, which is what we work off. And that's why I'm saying it's very important to stay positive. And I've always said that's why it's very important to stay positive, because I'm still hearing people talking about Trump and, oh, he's not good, and oh, this, that and the other, and blah, blah, blah. And someone made a stupid comment the other day about if you watch such and such a body, some guy that I mentioned saying that I quite liked what he said about spiritual stuff, but I can't remember his name, but I don't believe everything he says, and he's not into Trump, so I don't believe everything he says, because he even said he doesn't know. He was talking about the archons and stuff. He doesn't know everything, so I wasn't saying I believed everything he said, because I didn't. I liked some of the stuff he said, and he's not into Trump, so, I don't think he doesn't know what's going on there. But I believe it's either a distraction to look at something, or they're doing something to make a distraction, or, because Trump tweeted out about it burning down, it's either something being took down, but they'll save the bits that were good, and it'll be rebuilt the way it should be, not using for evil, if that's the case, if anyone gets what I'm saying. So also people are going on about UFOs around that site, and Fifth World saw some good stuff. Yeah, I think you said about the UFOs crosshatch. I've seen a guy, I don't know what channel it was on, showing an orb. Now we all know what orbs can be spirits, orbs can be things coming in from different dimensions, because the ether can come through the ether. We've been lied about what the ether is, and how things come in and out, so who knows what's going on, but it's not what they're saying on mainstream media. And then there's a mosque burning at the same time in Jerusalem. Really? A bit odd, isn't it? A little bit odd to me. I'm like, are these places of worship, were they once meant to be a good place of worship, or do people perceive it as a good place of worship, but actually it's been used for nefarious satanical worship? I'm just wondering. I don't know. I'm just, so, Yeah, I saw a few channels with something in the sky, and then obviously an orb. And if you're doing your own work, we'll know what orbs is. But what I found weird was, anyway, I went to bed last night looking at Art Nouveau, and I love Art Nouveau, and I didn't actually knew it was Art Nouveau that I loved, but I do. And more the building, more the construction of the building, and the architecture of the building, which now it all links up with Lord of the Rings and all that sort of stuff. And if you're wondering what I'm going on about, this is a sort of Art Nouveau work, this sort of stuff, these sort of drawings. Women, they were women all the time. I'm constantly drawing women. I know you probably can't see properly. Women, right? Women with long flowy hair, the sort of stuff I love. Very interesting. I thought fire was just a false flag to distract. It could be. That's why I've sort of said a few things about, which I'll re-go over in a minute. But also the architecture was very Lord of the Rings and fairy elfin to me. It's very beautiful, curvy. Then Art Deco came in, which I see more manly, because it was very straight lines. Where this was very natureified. This sort of stuff's absolutely gorgeous. I brought some books on it. I'm just in love. And it does remind me of fairies and Lord of the Rings, when they go to like the elfin where they live, whatever it's called, I can't even remember. I was showing my sister this morning, very curvy and beautiful, and all along with nature. And I'm trying to find a good thing to show you. Beautiful. That is the sort of stuff I love. I think this is what I imagine I see heaven to look like. If you went to heaven, or what you perceived heaven to look like, or a fairy realm or an elfin realm, this is what I'd imagine it to look like this, like, oh my god, like, oh, just let me get rid of this light, like, oh my god, like, look how beautiful, like, I just have to show, I'm just in love, like, I mean, this door, very elfin, like, just beautiful. But just their doors and stuff, but it just makes me laugh because it's a lot to do with women and the shapes of nature and curves. And then Art Deco came in. Art Nouveau was apparently the rebel age, because apparently I read bits on it, I watched bits on it, those artists, you go to university, you've got to learn to draw realism. That's why I draw stuff like this. I don't draw realism, I draw what comes out of my head. That's sort of what they were doing as well, changing bits and making it different. And they were rebels against the mass production, because they did furniture, and the furniture's beautiful. I was like, yes, rebels of art, get me right on it. I stand with the rebels of art. Everything had curves, Everything had curves. They weren't straight like this here. They were more for not mass production. Obviously, things went into my... I mean, look at this. If I had a door, this would be my door, because I'm a Pisces. This is my... I mean, oh my God, Neptune's kingdom or what? Wow, that's my front door. That would be my front door. Oh, God. So I need to do some designs. I was just like, oh my God. I've seen it before, but I don't really took much notice. It's just beautiful. Look at this. Look at this archway. Imagine having an archway like this. I mean, yeah, you'd have to have some money, wouldn't you? I don't know if you can see because that light's in the way. Just let me move this. No, you're not going to be able to see. Light out the way a little bit. No, it's still there. But you can get the gist. Curves and stuff. So I'm just trying to find one of the buildings. Just very, is it etheric? What's the right word? Like, it's, let me find it on my, can't see who's in chat, hang on a minute. I'm just having a nosy where I've put this. There we go, right, let me see. I mean, look at this for a front door. Wow. Someone took me to dinner at a place like this. I mean, obviously it's dead dear. I think I'd faint. I mean, just like, to me it's like fairyland, you know. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Just, I think it's beautiful. Beautiful architecture and, hang on a minute, I'm just getting carried away with looking at it. Let me write in... I mean, look at this for a house. I mean, is that not Lord of the Rings like fairy-fied? Look at that. Absolutely stunning. My God. Anyway, Art Nouveau, whatever you call it, Art Nouveau, I say. It's just me. And no wonder I've always liked Lord of the Rings, and I loved it when they went to the elves where they lived. It was very beautiful and like that, with all curvy lines and flower details and all that sort of stuff. Like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. Hi Lula, Cross Hatch, who've we got in anyway? To Lydia, Curious on the inside, Curious looking on the inside, Sleeping Warrior, and whoever else is there listening. And then, because what I was trying to say was, I was looking at all that last night, like architecture, and the next minute, the cathedral, Notre Dame, or whatever you call it, is on fire, and I'm like, what? The architecture on that was very gothic. But what I'm saying is, as I've just said at the beginning, if you've just come in, you know I'm on the Q train, so it's either, some people saying a red flag, a distraction. It's like, could be. It was something, I mean, Trump's even tweeted out, because he spoke about this the other day, yesterday, he tweeted out, why did they not put fire, flown over with, you know, the aeroplanes that drop the water, I don't know what it's called, the water bomb things, to put it out, and some people saying because it would, why have they not done it? Because it would knock down the whole structure, because they're saving some stuff. But I'm like, and then in Jerusalem there's a mosque burning at the same time. So it's like, is it good or bad? Is it good or bad? Hi Tree Hugger Dave. Is it good or bad? It may have been good, but is it a worshipping site for rituals of the satanical side? I don't know. Will it be brought down and rebuilt, which is a shame, but rebuilt as in the good, if anyone gets what I'm saying? Because a lot of people don't understand is some of these sites where you go like, whoa, we're in awe of these, that, you know, these big structures, is like, Karen, is like, yeah, religious and things like that, but we know how some of it works, because some of it's not good. Some of it's satanical, so what is it? Is it being brought down for the good? And then it's going to be being brought down there. You know, it's the end of their world, their apocalypse, their crap's being brought down, and it'll be rebuilt back up. what it's meant to be. If it's meant to be a structure of awe and beauty, it'll be built up for the right reasons, not for harnessing negative energy and sacrificial things. If that's the case. If not, is it that side, the elite, the bad side of it, bringing it down because it was good? But I'm more on the side of, I don't know. Was it being used for something it shouldn't have been used for? But people look at it like, oh yes, oh my God, oh my God. Well, maybe it needs bringing down and rebuilding back up to the light, not the dark, dark to light people. I don't know. Because really, if it was the elites, Macron and all them lot, they wouldn't, if it was what they use, obviously, to do their secret, what would you call it, meetings and stuff, what goes on there, they're not really going to want to burn it down, are they? And Trump saying, let's drop a water bomb thing on it, with the planes, it would wipe the whole thing out, but they don't want that, do they? They're just there with the little firefighters trying to put it out. They'll save some stuff, but they're trying to put it out. It's like, no, because you wouldn't want to totally destroy it, would you? But you would if it's being used for evil, you would, because you could rebuild it back up in the light. So, I don't know. I'm not saying no, I'm just like, this is a bit odd, isn't it? And then someone's put out today, I've heard someone saying, ooh, Westminster, Jeremy Corbyn's been putting something out about Westminster better keep their eyes out. I thought, oof, if that's on fire next, there's definitely something going on. These structures, what are they? Are they on ley lines? Are they collecting or sending negative energy out? Because I was watching Shadow Hunters on, I will come into chat in a minute, Shadow Hunters, the series on Netflix, and I'm on series 2, and funny enough, before I found out this, it was in a church, and there's a bit of a devilly sort of like demon thing in the church, and there's ley lines in this church, and it's trying to put the badness out, but the angelic sort of, no, it sounds a bit mad, they are demon hunters, shadow hunters go, no, we've got to get there and pump the angelic, the positive energy into the ley lines to pump it out to the down, what do they call it, the down world. And the down world is us, people who live in the down world is us. So there's demon hunters, well, shadow hunters, because obviously they're hunting the shadows, the demons. There's werewolves in this, and the old werewolves and vampires and that. But at one point they did say, it's in here actually, but we are part of the down world, and we are all, I know this sounds mad, werewolves, vampires, and that, but all humans together, meaning there's lots of different races, like there's lots of different races on our realm, and they're trying to divide us all. Like, I know this sounds whack, but in Shadow Hunters, there's, like the Shadow Hunters, they're the demon hunters, sort of weren't friends with the vampires, and they weren't friends with the warlocks, the magicians, and there's warlocks, magicians, vampires and werewolves and shadow hunters, but they all come together at the end because they've got to fight the evil demons, a bit like us, with Christians and Jews and Muslims all fighting. It's like, hey, they pulled the wool over all of our eyes. Do you not get it? They're getting us to fight against each other because it makes us weaker. But if we all come together, like in the Shadow Hunters, they all work together and work the differences out. Yeah, they're all different. One's a vampire, or one's a werewolf. They're all one's a warlock and Shadow Hunters. But in this, it's interesting because they're all trying to rein in the angriness, like, which I sort of see like what we're doing, purging. Because I will come in chat when I finish this. Is the vampires are not trying to kill people. They're trying to rain their, have blood from somewhere else. I know it sounds mad. The werewolves are not trying to get angry, because when they get angry, they turn into werewolves. The warlocks are trying to, it's all about the angerness, rein it in, like what we're trying to do, so we can all work together, because they're getting triggered off certain things. Things are triggering them, like the vampire blood triggers them, the werewolves, certain things trigger them, if anyone gets what I'm talking about. So nearer the end, it's not at the end of the series, I don't want to spoil it too much, but if you haven't watched it, but basically they're coming together because they're different races, got different ways of doing things like we do. Certain people in different countries have different ways of doing things, but we've all got to come together because we are all one. We're from the earthly realm, and they call in the series, they call it the downworlders. We're the downworlders because we live on here on this realm. There's things that live above, and there's all them sort of, it's done in that sort of story form, because you think, oh, it's only fantasy, you know, they ain't werewolf. Well, they do it like that, but when you watching and listening with different eyes and ears, you can see what's going on. And the bit that I got to last night was they're in a church, and it was all about ley lines and energy. And funnily enough, the angelic energy was this colour, like a very light blue, and obviously the other one was red. So that was like, odd. I saw the sun today looking really weird with, it looked like something behind it, like another ring behind it. And then when I looked again, because I looked a bit too much, it went a light bluey colour with a green, with a purple, and then it looked like it had an aura around it. So I was like, is that me, or is that just like, no? Oh, Joe, don't worry. I've seen him at the rallies, you know, and stuff like that. That doesn't bother me. That'll happen when it's meant to. The last one's magical. Remember what Q said? The last one will be magical. Yeah. So that's why I don't talk that much about it, because I'm like, you know, I trust the plan. I trust the plan. The Q plan started way back. Way back. But I'm just wondering, you know, that's what I was watching last night, and then when all this stuff started coming in about the cathedral, and I was watching this churchy thing, and I was like, huh? You know, and then the news has been putting out about 80,000 pyramids all around the world. Yeah, because it was keeping the harmony and the energy and the free energy and lighting up place and all free energy and all that, and they were saying, but the conspiracy theory thinks the ley lines that hold energy, well, they do. So I see it like, if the world's been in negativity, it's feeding Mother Earth the negativity and feeding them the negativity. We need to pump out positivity. It goes into the earth as well. That's why it's very important to be positive. So, octopus fellowship from... Oh, and funny enough, Revel, the thing about the octopus, and people going on about plasma, because the plasma is like an octopus. It's like, you know, on them balls, you get them lights and the plasma comes out. In the series, because you know I always look at stuff, in the series Shadowhunters Season 2, a vampire who wasn't a vampire before, he got changed, because you got to see, like, people are getting changed. The celebrities get changed, they get blackmailed and stuff. Goes into a bar and he wants to sort of forget stuff. So this other vampire says to him, yeah, I have a plasma, a something plasma. So it was like a shot drink, but it was called a plasma something. And I thought, they've called the drink plasma. And then I thought, what they're going to say it is. And when he goes, what's the plasma drink? He goes, oh, because he named it plasma. He says something like, oh, it just makes the pain go away. So there's that thing of like the pain go away. Is the plasma event, people are going on about the plasma event, is it a thing we're going to see? Will we not see it but feel it? Or is it just something that, it might have been something years ago, but is it now? Is it something that's going to come in? So when this pain comes out that people are seeing, it's going to be taken down because good things are coming in. If anyone gets what I'm saying, or is it something that something does come in and it helps people forget the pain? Or if you're in pain and you're ill, you're going to start healing. I don't know, but it's just weird that all these things are out there. That's all I'm saying anyway. You know, because they always make out like the plasma event, or they have done in the past. And if you're wondering why my hair's frizzing, it's still wet, is bad. And the apocalypse, we know the apocalypse is the beginning of the new, and it's their world that's falling down. It's the end of the world for them. Macron and all the elites, yeah, maybe that's why they're all like, oh, look at the cathedral. We know what our cathedral is over here. You know what I mean? It's probably on a big ley line. So it's the end of the world for you lot. Your world's crumbling down. Your powers, the powers you've been harnessing and putting out, are going. That's what I see it as. Healing for all. Exactly. So don't listen to mainstream media when they're talking about what they're saying it is. Try and look beyond that, because I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying it ain't nothing to do with what they're saying it is. You got Macron going, oh, it's the history and the history of wars. Yeah, your wars, your man-made wars. So I just say, yeah, is it being brought down to be built back up again? You know, like Trump gets things and builds them back up all beautiful, pumping positive energy out there, not satanical ritual stuff that we know has been going on. I'm not saying it's that. It could be either or either. I don't know. Some people saying it's a distraction, whatever. Some people saying there's been UFOs and we've seen orbs there, and Fifth World seen something in the pictures, and it's interesting. And there's a man been on the top where no one was supposed to be. It wasn't a firefight. They said there was no workers there. There's a guy, everyone's like, oh, it's a guy in a high-vis vest. It doesn't look like a high-vis vest. Someone's joking, saying it's Notre Dame. It's, you know, the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Some people saying it could have been someone that, good or bad, I don't know, but to me it looks like he's got a robe on and he's got something on his head. It doesn't look like a high-vis vest to me. I'm not saying it isn't, I can't see it properly, but it doesn't look like that. It looks like high-vis vest is proper illuminous. I've got one. It doesn't look like that. It looks quite long, whatever it is. So, ley lines, Lydia, are the Earth's natural grid, Gaia's natural grid. I believe they were ley lines for energy. That's what the pyramids stood on. The pyramids took water up the pyramids like a battery. They used free energy from the earth. There was the news was saying we think we found conspiracy 80,000 pyramids all around the world, all around the world. You know, it's not just Egypt, and they're not just all like this. Some are underground. They're here in the UK. They're all over. The Mayan ones, they're all over. I believe they were there like a battery, Earth's battery, pumping out free energy, because we've got free energy. Tesla, that's what Tesla got. You know, ancient civilizations, he got that. That's what Tesla Tower is. Not bothered about CERN. And it was free energy for the world and everything, and it kept us in harmony, it kept everything in balance, and then something came along and whacked us out of balance. We're going back to balance. So when it looks like there's chaos out there and there's certain things that are happening, like these fires and that, out of chaos comes a calm. So it looks a bit chaotic, and it's going to wind some people up, and it's going to get some people mad, especially people who aren't understanding what certain structures, like the obelisks or whatever they're called. There's one in DC, there's one in the Vatican, and there's one in London. Funny that. London's financial, DC's military, and the Vatican's religion, and they all work together. Now, were them points, because the obelisk has got points on it, was something going to come in when they bought their reign in, if she'd have won, Hillary, that were going to pump something, the energy around the world, and they were going to blast something in or out because they had points on, and they're in those places? Or were they harnessing the energy? Because a point like this, like this crystal, is an energy conductor point. So if the obelisk, or whatever they're called, is in DC, military, one in the Vatican, which is religion, you know, that they try and split a lot of things up with, and the Vatican's on top of the Q map as at the top of everything, and one in London for finances, the triangle, three sides, that's what's being brought down. Are they harnessing our energy, and it pumps it out of however they use it for negativity? Because in America, in DC, when Obama got in, the obelisk is there, loads of people stood out, yeah, we love Obama, sucking that energy, and little did they know that he's bad. Just saying, if anyone understands what I'm talking about, how I see it, just saying. Funny that, isn't it? So, chaos comes, and then out of the chaos comes the calm. So that's why, you know, people like Roseanne have been saying, don't get triggered by what you think you're being shown by mainstream media. I believe it's something totally different. Moving negative activities off ley lines, replacing them with positive. Exactly. This was what was in Shadow Hunters. See, I watch things and I'm like, whoa. And now I watched that last night about the church, and then this happens. Is Shadow Hunters the series? Yeah, it does make a lot of sense. Shadow Hunters look into ley lines, honestly. Shadow Hunters the series on Netflix. Yes, we know what Netflix is. Their shadow hunting academy, and guess what, people? Guess where it was? The Shadow Hunters Academy was in New York. One was in London, and I can't remember when they said the other one is, but it must have been in Italy, mustn't have it? Because it's the, you know, they have to put it out there. So their academy, the one in New York, they said theirs wasn't on the ley line. They had it purposely not on a ley line, because in case it got took over by evil and it pumped out that energy through the ley lines. So they purposely, something like that, they didn't have it on the ley lines. Wherever those ley lines are, especially the strongest ones, and I know some, I don't know if I'm right, I heard one of the strongest ones in the UK. It's probably under the frigging palace, or Westminster or the cathedral, the one in London, whatever it's called, would not surprise me. So where you see big buildings with things pointing up, energy harvesting, because that's why they have what they call spirals. That's why it fell on the Notre Dame one, because that fell, because I've seen the programs on YouTube, they have electrical wires and things in to harness. Why would they have that in a spire? Why? Anyone gets what I'm saying? Energy, feeding, the ley lines or whatever. The ley lines are in a lot of films. Are in Valerian, that I said to watch at the beginning, when there was a world that was all in peace and harmony and she was over the water with ley lines. Water's much more than we know. The ether is much more than we know. That's why I believe when you see things in the sky and people go, oh yeah, you can make anything out of clouds. No, to me it's like spirit form, the breath of God, the consciousness that can come in of things, because we don't know what that is properly. It doesn't mean those things you see up there, elemental or whatever you want to call it, are not real. That's just how they come through. That's what I think. You're wearing blue again. Yeah, well this is like a light bluey lilac, and I've got my blue on. But I saw purple today as well, as people saying about purple rain. Is the sun, when I looked at it a bit, it went blue in the middle, green, a very light purple, more like a lilac, and something else. But the sun looked like, through my camera, it looked like the sun, yellow, and then red. That's why I put it up, but you couldn't tell properly. I could. And then it went pale, and it went like a light blue. Different colours, like aura. That's what I'm saying about the aurora borealis, when they say your aura is in different colours. Not all the aurora borealis is green, it's different colours as well. But I do think that's like Mother Earth's core energy. Is it trapped there? I don't know. Is it meant to be everywhere, which I've said this before? But it's just making me think. That's why I'm not getting triggered by the cathedral thing. I'm like, right, let's see what they're going to pump out. We've got the UFO thing, that going on, and all sorts of different things going on. I want to see more what Macron said, and I want to see more what Trump says. Trump's doing a great thing on the taxes at the minute, and that's good about when you give your house to your kids. It shouldn't be taxed and all that. Yep, follow suit over here. What happens in America shortly follows over here. And there's been a burning in a mosque in Jerusalem. I think places of worship are being brought down as in bad worship. Just saying. Don't know if it's if I'm off or on track, but something's going on. As we know, there's something going on. We know there's loads of things going on. Roseanne's said again on her YouTube, she's laughing, saying lots of let me go over actually. What did she say? I just love her. So if something's being burnt down to symbolise the end of an era for those elites, and your world's coming down and there will be no more sacrifices and satanical crap, bring it on, Watch this space, that's all I'm saying. It's not what the mainstream media say it is. I'm not saying it's a good or bad thing, I'm just saying it's not what they say it is. So Roseanne said today, this is what she said.
You know what I best like about this time? I don't know. You know what I best like about this spring, children? It's just the most wonderful time of the year for lawsuits. And there's going to be fantastic lawsuits in the moon. Not just from, but from some new names that you may not have heard of yet. It's just going to be some fantastic lawsuits in
fantastic lawsuits. Yeah, we know that. From people you haven't even heard. John Kennedy, if they burn down all the churches, they'll be held to pay. They will, but you've got to remember, not all churches, I'm not saying that. There are a lot of churches out there masquerading as good churches, and they're not. And this could be where people are getting confused, because if they know about certain stuff of what's been going on the satanical side with churches and other places of worship, people may burn things down because they think it's something bad, Whoa, and it might not be, because like we've said before, there are good Christians, there are bad Christians, we know that. There are good Jews, there are bad Jews. There are good Muslims, there are bad Muslims. It's what sort of person you are. So there are a lot of places of worship that are good, but there's a lot out there that are also do need bringing down, if you get what I'm saying. I don't mean that in a horrible way, I mean when you know the truth, but they have to be the right ones, obviously, but we know that, so we're not going to sit here and pretend that every place of worship is good, because every place of worship is not good. Some people go in there with blindfold, they might not even know what's going on underneath, but I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying we all know there are a lot of places out there that are not good, but obviously they have to be the right ones to be shown for what they truly are. That's not a bad thing, that is what's going on, but they has to be done the correct way, and you know what I mean. And if places of worship still stay up in the future because there's a lot of bad things going on, they have to be for the light, and they have to be for good, and that's what, no one's going to mind that in the future if people still hold on to religion and certain stuff, as long as these places are being used intentionally for good intentions of what they were supposed to be way back when, and not what the Romans brought in and all that for sacrificing this, that and the other and all that sort of stuff that we know that the dark side do. Dark occult, I'd say there's an light occult, it's the dark ones, Yeah, that's why I'm watching Shadowhunters. And who just said something about conspiracy theories there? Don't know what you're going on about. You'll soon find out that conspiracy theories are very true. It's what the other side call it because they want people to look like nutcases. And we all know if you get called mad, that is an actual compliment, because those who don't know nothing are the sleeple, sheeple, whatever, who don't know anything that's going on about reality, and how they fooled us all, for a long time. Yeah, some may be angry about pre-sex abuse and attacking church. Exactly, so that's where it gets all muddled up. That's where people have got to stay calm, because there are great priests out there, but there's bad ones as well. And when people are looking into certain stuff, they're going to get the wrong end of the stick. They're going to go off in anger. That's why this thing's hard, and you've got to try and sit back and breathe and think, right, just sit back a bit. People are going to go out and do stuff. So maybe people have done that in France with Notre Dame. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know the true side of it. There's something going on, either one or the other, which way it was, good or bad. Something, because people are going to go out and do that, because it's like if people find out a lot about Q and the stuff you can find out about kids, you do get angry. You get really angry, and you want to go out and do something. Then you've got to realise it's not going to help in the end, really. We've got to realise what's going on, be aware, and then we've got to start working towards making things better. So there will be that. The real church is rising. Yeah, that's what I mean. There's a real church if you want to keep in your religious thing, and then there's that side that came in. Do you know what I mean? We all know this is what's going on. A lot of people don't, they're not understanding it, but the people who don't understand it properly are going to go off and maybe do things. So when people say there's going to be a bit of chaos, yes, there is. That's not going to be helped. The Q came along to help people understand, so there's people that understand and have got over their anger, to bring the chaos down, because there's going to be chaos. We're not saying there isn't, there is, and that could be what's going on. You look at the state of France at the minute, that is what's going on, but a lot of us know it's to be calmed down, because we know how they're playing the game and they're trying to pump stuff out. But Q was there to help people look at a few stuff. Yeah, you get angry and then you calm down and realise we've all got a bond together. That's what it's all about. Where did you hear? Yeah, the mosque is on fire as well, and it was burning at the same time in Jerusalem. So we're not saying, that's why we've got to watch out. Is Westminster? Someone said something about Westminster, like not Jeremy Corbyn. Somebody said something about Westminster. Are we going to see certain little things going off all around the world? Because if there's certain places of worship to where their side, because their world's coming down, not ours. All I'm saying is keep watching and keep listening, and don't believe what mainstream media is saying, because we don't listen to them. But watch out, you know what I mean? Because it'd be like, bit of a coincidence. No, it's not a coincidence. And Q's always said, it's not a coincidence. Nothing is a coincidence. It's all happening for a reason. The book of Revelations predicts mad chaos. Yeah, well, there is mad chaos. There will be mad chaos, because with the truth, there'll be chaos, because people don't want to wake up. And when they realise, what do you do when you realise you've been lied to? You get mad. I don't like liars. A lot of people don't like liars. When you've realised your reality is not what you think it is, and things have been going on right under your nose, you didn't even know, you're going to be mad. Especially when it comes down to the kids, because that's one of the biggest things. That's the red line that they crossed. Like you said, that is the biggest red line that they crossed. There's always been things happening, right? Since day dot, but it was always in balance. Yeah, there's good and the bad, but it's always been running alongside each other, like nature does. But the dark side started taking over. They saw their sort of, what's the word there? They saw they could deceive us a lot. A bit like China, when Trump talks about China and he said it's not their fault that they took from us. They were allowed to by Obama and the ones that were in before, so they just did it because they could. But they do respect in that culture someone who's tough and says, no more, no more. You're going to give us the money back. And that's what they do. They respect it. Even if there's an enemy, they respect you more for standing up for what you believe in, standing up for your country, not sitting there going, you can take everything, it's okay, like Obama did, and the ones before. Especially Obama, because they were bringing down America, folks. The easiest way to get in and do all the stuff, what they were doing. So, just saying. We are blind for a reason, too much for a human mind, always darkest before the dawn. Yeah, but I do think a lot of it's coming out because people really need to wake up. So sometimes it has to come like a boom. But there's a lot of us that are already doing it. Sorry about my nails because they come off. Like I said before, so those people will help those people, because some people are just going to wake up and be like, what? Like when you first find out certain things, even if you thought you knew certain things, then you find out other stuff and you're like, what? Oh my God. Hi. And this is what funny, it goes back into art again, like I was saying, Art Nouveau, which I'm really into, and realised that's what I've always been into. Looking on my door now, I don't know if that's more curvy, but my mum likes Art Deco, and I was like, no, I like Art Nouveau before, because they were the rebels of art. They didn't want to be like structured. Like Art Deco's more structured, it's lines, it's more manly to me, whereas Art Nouveau was a lot of women pictures and curves and flowers and nature and that sort of thing, very feminine. Art Deco's very lines, manly, male energy, if you get what I'm talking about. But they were rebels of, like, I think it was, they made a group up, that did all that sort of painting and drawing and household stuff, because they said, at university you go and you learn the arts, but they want you to do like, learning realism stuff and copying things. It's like I don't do that. My stuff comes out of my head. It just like, and that's what they sort of did. It was like, yeah, we'll draw the form of the body like you're supposed to be. We're going to change it and put these clothes on, because they reckoned that, is it Mucka? Was it Mucka who did the, get mixed up with the names, because I love the kiss. I really want that picture, the kiss. Sometimes he drew the models, but then he drew the clothes on after the way he wanted them to flow, and they might not even been clothes that they had on, or out of his imagination, because where's all this art coming out of your imagination from the ether from time before? I don't know. That's why I come up with a lot of creative ideas and stuff, because mine just comes in. It just comes out of my imagination, or what, I don't know what the right word is, because it doesn't have to be structured. It doesn't have to be looking real, as we all know now that reality is not real anyway. So I'd rather draw the things that come in. That's why I've always liked fantasy stuff. I've always been into them sort of films like Lord of the Rings and all that sort of stuff. And my mum would be like, why do you always like these sorts of films? And I'm like, I don't know, there's just something that resonates with me. So I'm like, I'm talking about artwork. I was drawing a little picture the other day, because I said I'd come and do my collage, which hopefully should be tonight. The kiss was by Klimt. I can never say that. Yes, it was. And it's in IKEA actually, but they snipped it down that way and it's actually square. I'm going to get that picture for my house. It's that picture means a lot when I look at it now. I'm like, oh my God. So that's a quick picture that I drew of, this is really rough. It says Earth, meant to be like a Mother Earth, because I was going to do like a sort of earthy collage tonight, if I'm not too tired. And then it is very beautiful. It means a lot as well. And if you look at the pattern on the man, his are more squares, more lines, more structure. Men are a bit more like that. The woman on her outfit is circles, curves, flow, if anyone gets what I'm saying. Here's one of my mermaid bags finished. I'm very chuffed with this bag, so I'm going to show you. Hand stitched, took me 3 days to make. And it probably doesn't come off well on here because it's got little jewels on here. Little jewels. It looks better in real life actually than it does on this camera. I don't know if I can show you. Little jewels under here. She's got a little pearl bracelet on. The mermaid bag. Got pink hair. All hand stitched. Took me 3 days. I've got another one to make, but I've got my sewing machine up and working. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to start things a bit quicker and get some more stuff together. More stuff. And I'm still doing Luna the cat. My friend said, my cat's called Luna. I was like, oh yeah. Still doing Luna the cat. They're all ongoing. I also might do talking about art. I might... This just makes me laugh. If anyone remembers this book from ages ago. The little book that I made. And I just used to draw little cartoons of me in the day because I just thought it was funny, and I might keep up with it because it goes into a lot of like intention stuff. Like a guy who did comics used to write himself in his comic because I know this sounds mad. To me, it's like a way of putting an intention out there, but this was just things that happened in the day because I was trying to do a caricature of me when I had shorter, curlier hair, and I just used to think it was just a good way of drawing, just something that happened in your day, but you as a cartoon because I like drawing. So I don't know if anyone remembers. This was in 2018. It was me feeling meh today, but that's okay, having a sloth day, which means a lazy day, and it was this one in the kitchen. It was funny, but it was a cute little picture. I just found it, so I thought check, because I thought yeah, I'll have to do some more. And then there was a day when I was feeling better today after a good sleep, so I'd had a cup of tea, a cup of coffee or whatever, and I was feeling a lot better. And then my sister came round one day, and we were talking about something. I think we were laughing about 50 Shades of Grey because I've never seen it. I read the book because I think it's actual crap. I know we were just laughing about it because, what was it called? They brought another one out called 50 Shades of... No, what was the new one they brought out? I thought the next one was called 50 Shades of Green. And I went, oh, is it because he's jealous? But it wasn't 50 Shades of Green, was it? I was like, oh, I don't know. So we were laughing. Me and my sister were laughing about it. That was me and my sister over a brew, laughing about dating and laughing about that book, and it was funny. Yeah, sloth day, like lazy day. You know, sloths are dead slow. It's like I'm having a sloth day today. If you've been out drinking and you get a hangover, you have a sloth day. And then there was just some others that I didn't follow in properly and stuff, and it was just quite funny. So I may do some more of those because it was just quite funny. So that's my little emblem, dolly, my little label. 50 Shades of Rubbish. Exactly, Sue. You know, because the thing is, when that came out, everyone was like, you know, housewives. Ooh, 50 Shades of Grey. I even got the book. I read a couple of pages and went, well, I'm not even reading it. And then the film came out and everyone's like, oh, I could write a better book than her. It's like nothing new. It's like... Can't even the words she used. I was just like, well, what's all this about? Oh my god, you lot must be so. Oh, it was rubbish. Oh, it was rubbish. But yeah, it's just like, women, what are you doing buying that rubbish? It isn't even that, it's rubbish. So, how are we all in chat? Yes, Colin Turner. Wow. I think the printer rang me today. I don't know when we're going on about this, getting this printed, but I can't actually afford to get the print done this week because I've got bills going out and I have to actually pay for the print to get tested. So I'm going to have to wait till I get paid and then I'll go in with it because basically he just said I can go in to the printers. So when I've got the money, I'll do it. I'm not in a massive rush. And I can do stuff, but I am thinking of doing some Christmas cards maybe for this year and other stuff like that, you know, with different things when I've got some of my other stuff up and running. And I'm going to be making some of these little handbag notebooks again, with my little handmade. This was a sweetie one. Little paper clips that go in. I'm just a one-woman production line. Do you know what I mean? So that's why it takes me some time. But I know, my little charm bracelet that I've got on was handmade. So this is what I was saying to her. I think it was LA Taylor the other day. Is I'm very hands-on and very traditional handmade stuff. Not mass production. Because that was the Art Nouveau, or whatever you call it, and they were fighting against the mass production. Where people can chuck away society, which is what we are now. When it all started coming in, they were against that. What handcrafted, beautiful stuff made from the heart. Not, like I say, that thing is mass production. Yeah, it's quicker. Everyone chucks it away more. It's got no soul to it. That's why I love sketching. And if my work goes to a printer's, it'll be the way I do it, not touched up on a computer. I like my bag. You can have this sort of. I could go to a printer's and have this mermaid printed as just the painting on a bag. But I love touching it myself. It's my energy on it. I love, like, on a sewing machine or hand stitch. Whatever, this is hand stitch. It's the texture. It's me with the texture. It's got it'll be a little bit more money because it's handmade, but it's handmade with love. Do you know what I mean? It's not mass produced. It's just little old me, putting it together, and I love it. To me, it wouldn't be part of me. I could get some things printed out, but this, doing the material side of it and me touching it and doing it, I love it. So, but because I've got my hopefully sewing machine up and running now, that when I start realising how to do that properly, I can knock them out a bit quicker than taking 3 days. A bit easier for me, but it's still handmade. So what we're all saying. What's that? What's 800 and 900? What we're talking about? Haven't tested it yet. I've let mine sit. It's been in the loft. But I do lots of arty different stuff, so I just love to create, and lots of things come in my head all the time. I don't seem to get a creative block for some reason. It's always like boom, 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 boom. So, exactly, handmade's one of a kind. It's like I've got another one on the go, the same design, but it'll be hand stitched or machine sewed. But it's from me. It's not going somewhere to be mass produced. Like pumping it all out, because there'll only be so many of them, and then I'll get bored and do another design, and then there'll only be so many of them, so on and so on and so on. So yeah, manifesting. Yeah, tactile. Yeah. Yes, Colin, it's also heart and soul made. It is, because that's what I'm saying about the, I thought this up, it's my design, I've worked on it. I get joy when I'm, every stitch I've stitched, and whether that's I do it by hand or on, they're probably half and half on my sewing machine, and that just helps me out a little bit more. I can't take 3 or 4 days to make one bag. If someone wanted one, I'd be like, oh, I just love it. It's not a big machine going boom, but it's me doing it all. When people paint or people do their music or people, whatever it is that you love to do, it doesn't have to be art. But yeah, so it's good. But yeah, I just wanted to put my point across on the my sort of rundown on what's going on with the cathedrals and the mosque in Jerusalem. There's lots of stuff going on. I'm just sitting back and watching it. There'll be a lot of people out there getting angry, and they sat there and all screaming and shouting, and it's like, well, watch this space. But like I said, it's chaos, and out of chaos, in the end, comes the calm. I'm sure there was something else I wanted to say out of that, what I've been watching. can't remember. There was a lot of swords in this Shadow Hunters, and the girl in it picked the swords at the end, which weapon she wanted, but she picked 2. And they said you would pick that because that was your dad and your mum's, and the dad was supposed to be bad, and the mum was supposed to be good. One in the right hand, one in the left hand, like feminine and divine energy. I'm not saying men are bad, I'm just saying in the thing. And it was like the sword. He was always talking about the sword of truth. Put your God's armour on and the sword of truth. And she picked these little swords up, so that was interesting. I was like, Oh yeah, and also I got my other oracle cards I was telling you about that I was waiting for some of us to come, and I managed to get I don't know, say this crystals, chrysalis tarot. And I'll show you what I actually pulled out if I can get the book, but they look like this, very earthly, different sort of ones than I had before. Hi Rachel. Have you got did you get your bookmark yet, Rachel? Has it arrived yet? Nearly at the end. 2 of Scrolls. Ooh, the Muse. Queen of Spirals. Who could that be? The Star. But I want to show you what popped out. I think it was yesterday. Just let me go and get it. Chrysalis Tarot is a different, you get a lovely book with it. You can get it without the book, and you normally have to buy the book separate, but I actually got the whole thing together. And they normally have a bit different reading to the normal tarots, but I just read this intuitively, just looking at the pictures, like, well, justice is coming, but look who's on the front of it. Isis. Which is funny because Trump's been talking about the pyramids and all that, free energy and this, that and the other. And there's water, we were talking about water, with the fishes in water. But justice is coming, just like Roseanne was saying today or yesterday, whatever it is, people going for what was it, court cases and big court cases and stuff like this. And then we've got I always like the 2 swords through the lot. Yeah, and then we've got the storyteller, which is funny because we're all telling a story, aren't we? This is a hermit, but look at this hermit picture. Got light in his hand as well. So the storyteller to me is we're trying to shine out truth. I'm not saying we're all definitely right in everything, but we're all trying to get the truth out, because once you stand in the light, the lies can't stand in the light. A lot of people were talking about this. Fifth World, we'll probably see this after we've been talking about this. Once you stand in the light, once there's no secrets, because they have secrets, and we see the secrets, everybody, it can't work anymore. You can't work your hideous secrets, because we all know what's going on, because we all know the truth. So there that is again. We all had to pull away like a hermit, away from people, away from things. And then the last one that came out was death. I guess what she's got when I've been talking about me knitting. She's got bloody balls of wool in her hand. She's got a bowl of wool, and I will just read the slight bit out about that, not all of it, because I see this as, look, the minor, yeah, it's Taurus, but it was like the minor, what was the thing called in the Greek thing, the Minotaur, there. But what's this behind her? Circles, rings. I always think Lord of the Rings. Different realms, maybe. The 4 pillars of earth. got a spiral over her head. But death, because after the death of maybe this world, what it has been, burnings and stuff coming down at the minute, there will be a new way, new rebuilding. Death card doesn't always mean death, means the death of the old way. We've got a new way coming in that we want to come in. So, like we keep saying, it's the downtake of the old system, the old ways, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, labyrinth as well, and it has been a labyrinth. Because I sort of see things now as if there's other realms. There might be realms rings, Lord of the Rings. Anyway, just saying. Also, just let me read the little bit that he said about the wool in a basket, because I thought, there was me with my balls of wool, and she's got balls of wool in her hand. I just thought it was funny. It says, because I've not read this book yet, because it's slightly different to some others. I'm not going to read all of it. I'm just going to read the little bit about the wool in her basket. Said, if I can find it. This book is so different. Oh, there it is. It said, the yarn. Oh, I might not be able to find it. Yeah, labyrinth. Yeah, it says travelling the labyrinth. Yeah, because then the Minotaur was a Minotaur in the labyrinth. There again, the battle with the shadow self teaches us how to forgive and love who we are and how to bring our demons out of hiding. Which goes back to me saying, I've been watching Shadow Hunters on Netflix. It's about angels versus demons sort of thing, because we all have a shadow self. This is what I was going to say as well. In the Shadow Hunters, they're good, but they have to do some bad things sometimes. They have to kill other things, even though them things are bad, but people might see killing as bad. So sometimes they have to do that for the good. I don't mean what they do on that side, because they just, they kill innocent people. They had to do stuff to save good people, but in some eyes that is bad. But it's like, if you get what I mean, there's a bit of dark in all of us. And some of them had to lie about certain things, even though you say lying is bad, because they were if anyone gets what I'm saying, everyone has a shadow. It works on this realm. That's how it's always been. But the battle with the shadow self teaches us how to forgive and love who we are and how to bring our demons out of hiding. They've got to be brought to the light. Because one of the things that was in there that was a bit of a demon got told lies all its life off its father, and I don't want to say too much, but its sister and that, and thought it wasn't loved, when really it would have been if it had changed its mind to be good. But whatever. But yeah, that is it's on Netflix, Rachel. It's called Shadow Hunters. I watched it a while back and I had to get into it, but I like all that sort of it's a bit like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the series from a while back, if you like that sort of thing. It's a bit gory. It's not horror, because I don't watch stuff like that. It's that sort of thing. But I'm just on season 2, and season 2's making loads of sense. But like I just said at the beginning, it's about different races of warlocks, vampires and that, but they all have to come together, because that's what we've got to do. Different races, but we've all got to come together because we're all the same. So yeah, I don't know which bit I was looking for in here. Oh, it says this made me laugh. Because she's got the yarn, so she's a weaver. Because she likes weaving with a yarn. I'm weaving. It just made me laugh. It said, all great mother goddesses are weavers. Well, there you go. I'm weaving with me. my spirit yarn, remember when I went to the shop and I showed you the make of this? The name of this was called Spirit. Just think it's funny. Like, oh well. Oh, you women, goddesses. But yeah, I just thought that was quite funny that I picked these cards and they've got a woman with yarn. Different colours as well. I just thought it was funny. Hi. So I'm going to go now because that was sort of my thoughts on the old what's going on with Cathedral. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you'll have to go back to the beginning. What does that mean, Rachel? So, I'll tell you what I will pull. These were cheap, and I can tell they're cheap, but I thought it'd be fun to get some secret language of colour cards. So I can pull some of these as well, so let's see what colour we're going to get. What's the EAC? What's that? Am I just being daft? These are just, they're not like thingy pictures, just like, oh look, turquoise, looks like Tiffany blue. Awaken your empathy. So I just thought they're just cards like this. They're not thick ones, they're just cherry red. Live an extraordinary life. So I just thought I'd do these. Read up, hang on a minute. Oh, I can't move my rolly thing. Well, so you say, is that on Netflix? Oh, empathic. So I'm going to pull one of these before we go. Well, everybody's golden, you know. You stand in the light. Truth. And Trump's speech was really good on tax and all that. I've not watched all of it, but I saw enough. Ah. I was going to be clever and shuffle them, and they're too big. No, I don't get what empathic's saying sometimes. Sometimes I'm reading what you're saying, I'm like, what? You're not clear sometimes. Not jumping out. Empathic awaken, what are you going on about? What you going on about? You do say something sometimes, I like, what are you going on about? I hope that wasn't aimed at me, because I've not got a clue what you're talking about. Or are you two talking? Do you mean... Well... Oh, you're having a conversation. It's a problem when I'm reading stuff, I'm like, eh. Well, like I said, truth's beginning to come out, so we will see. Oh, that's just bent right over. Strengthen your body, Bronze Age. Well, not Bronze Age, sorry, let's say Bronze Age. Strengthen your body. I'm going to go for 3. It's either 3, 6 or 9, so I'll go for 3. Oh! Brown. Establish boundaries. Well, yes, folks, you do have to establish boundaries. I don't care what anyone says. This is one thing that we are learning to do. I'm learning to do, because you have to do that. You can't let people take your energy or walk all over you sometimes, because they've done enough of this. So yeah, establish boundaries. One more. Yeah, Revel, I've noticed some things sometimes. I'm like, but it's all good. You know, this or not, or what, or whatever. It's all good. Like I said, stay positive in your... it's like someone said something the other day about looking at a film and look at, oh, they thought it meant this. So I went, stay on the positive side of things. People who see bad in things and see things as the other way, or can't make the silver lining out, it's like, no, that's just getting you sucked back into fear. So positive. Like there's like all this cathedral thing. I see it as, right, well, it can be rebuilt, and it can be rebuilt glorious and new and beautiful, and for what it was really meant for, something good or whatever, you know. I just ignore, because, you know, it doesn't resonate, you know. Yeah, we all do. But sometimes people don't make sense, especially to me on chat, because it's like, what? It's hard to get off what people mean. If anyone gets what I'm saying. You know. And we all see things different, and we all experience things in a different way, and we all put it across in a different way. Because I heard someone saying today, it's like, just because someone says something in a certain way on a channel, I've said this before, doesn't mean it's right for everyone else to learn it that way. I don't mean people who are pumping bad out, but just because you think you might be putting something out that's right, and people can't understand it that way, they'll go somewhere else where they can understand it the way they understand it, even though it may be the same thing. But you've got to remember that people learn in different ways, and people will go to different channels to learn stuff. So if someone's pumping something out going, oh, I don't understand why someone's not understanding the way I'm putting out, that's because people understand things different, you know, and we're all doing it, it's just in a different way, and that's good, because who wants to be the same anyway? So this was lemon. Access innovative thinking. See that, like sunshine yellow. And I'll just do one out of this new deck as well, and then I'm off. Well, there's a lot of things going on out there at the minute. A lot of channels are talking about Satan and Lucifer, because I think it's two different things. You know, they want to confuse everyone anyway, because that's what they like to do. So people have just got to sit back and see what rolls out, basically, and we will find the truth out. You know, we will find the truth out. You know, something comes out, and then someone will say something, so it makes you fear it. So, you know, we'll see. They were removed a week before renovation to Spire work began. Well, I wonder if the Spire, whatever you call it, they might remove things and save things that were good, and then things had to fall out. This Spire, to me, why are we bringing that up in chat, empathic, all the time? What are we talking about that for? Might have had to fall because I believe it was an energy conductor. They might have saved the good bits, maybe, I'm just saying, because of what's happened now. They didn't want them to burn, if you know what I mean. Who knows? And this just fell out. Guess what it says? The divine child. Oh, and it's painting. Nature. Candle of light. I can see painting, because we are our own little creators. The divine is creator, because we are creators. Creates through us. We create. It's that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. The divine wanted to have experience of all emotions, all creativity. So that's why there's many of us and doing different things in different ways, because it wanted to experience it all in many different ways that we can create. Everyone creates in a different way. It wanted to experience it all. I sort of see it like that. Hi, fifth. But yeah, and I'm actually nearly going now. But that says a lot. Who's getting triggered, empathic awakened? I have not got a clue what you're going on about. I don't know what you're going on about at all. Obviously not a conversation with me, because I haven't got a clue what you're going on about. I haven't got a clue what you're going on about at all. And it's like I said, the truth is coming out whether you like it or not. So we will see what was really going down with certain, we all know words are put in there for different things, like planets. Is it really planes? Take the T off, I see it as. The Lucifer and Satan thing is, because you say Lucifer is the same as Satan, is it? Sounds like Lucifer sounds like Sophia. Because if there was, if there's a god, there's a goddess. We all know that. It can't be just one. These people think that. And then you've got like Satan. You say, oh yeah, it's Satan's world. No, it wasn't Satan's world. He had rain for a bit. Not even he had rain. It's the energy from Saturn or whatever. The energies from above hit us. And if they have to come in for so long, that's why they'll say it's Satan's world, Saturn's world, because that energy's been on it all purposely brought here. To me, this is how I see it as in, yeah, it had a rain for a little bit, it had its reign, but it knew at a certain time that other energies of the planes are coming in and it changes again. So they knew this was happening. They knew their time was going to fall down. That's why they pump out horror films and destruction films of the apocalypse is coming in, this is coming in, this is. It's like, no, it's the end of their world as they know it. The New World Order, whatever you want to call it as. So they put all this stuff out there. They even put stuff out there about plasma. A lot of these things have a lot of people reporting on the octopus, and things are done in mythical things of the octopus and the kraken and all that sort of stuff. Then is it the plasma, because it looks like tentacles. But then when I saw Shadow Hunters on Netflix, they mentioned it in a drink, like I said before, and they said, oh, what's that? And they said, oh, it just makes you forget your pain. Is the plasma event something we're going to see, like I said, or feel? Is it going to take people's pain away? Does it mean a healing? Whatever it is, I think it's a good thing. It ain't a bad thing, because they put it out as a bad thing. If you're in fear, then you're gonna fear something. If you're not in fear, because that's what it's all about, putting you in fear. Can you imagine all the people who are like, oh my God, the end of the world? Like I'm being funny. A lot of religious people are pumping this out. Have been pumping it out for years on their channels. It's the end of the world. Get your food. It's not the end of the world. It's the end of their world. And if they're part of this satanical secret thing, yeah, it's going to be the end of your world, when you know that the people who stand in the light we're taking our world back, and you won't be able to exist because we know what you're up to. Bye-bye. Gone. Time for our golden age now, whatever you want to call it. People get triggered by that. Whatever you want to call it. Our time. You've had your time for quite a long time, so you can go, leave the building, get a taxi, you're out of here, bye. You're gone. That's all I'm saying. That's how I see it anyway. Those better energies are coming in, those positive energies. Maybe something was trapped where it made it come in, because they knew. Like I think Fifth World was saying, we know that they had the telescopes out months and months ago, before Christmas, whenever it was, that big shock thing in America, right? They were looking through the telescopes. Yeah, because and people going, the Anunnaki era, whatever it is, it's because the etheric realms, whatever you want to call it, good, positive energy, vibes, light, whatever frequencies are coming in, and you can't stop it. Just like you said, it can't be stopped. This can't be stopped. It's like a snowball effect. It gets bigger and bigger. It can't be stopped because it's what's meant to happen. It's part of the cycle. I might have a chat about that. Is it like a cycle? We ping to another dimension, a realm, and then that pings out, and then we all go back to learning again, and it pings out. We might not all go back. That might just be the realms among the realms, if anyone gets what I'm saying. That's how I see it. The end of Saturn and the point blank, the beginning of our world, our new. Exactly, Fifth. That's how I see it. I know we all say things a bit different, but yes. yes, I saw your alien, and I saw people going on about loads of things about going about UFOs at the cathedral, and there was an orb. I saw the one with the orb and something. It's like, yeah, help from the ether. Yeah. I don't know about that, Revel. I think it can be stopped, or it's time where it retracts and goes away to maybe another so many hundreds of years or thousands of years, and it'll come back in again, and that's where the whole cycle of the planes, the energy comes back in again, if you get what I'm saying. But maybe they brought something here that made it stay. I don't know, but I think, yeah, you go in, you'll go around that big clock again, you know, like the big astrology clock, because they come in time of the Pisces. I think Pisces has been in since Jesus, I don't know, so they say. And then we're in the age of Aquarius, which is about truth, lifting the veil. I think Pisces was all about deceit and cooperation, all that stuff that's gone in the past, so it all matches up, if anyone gets what I'm saying. Yeah, I've got iodine. It's like, it depends how you look at things. So I see it like that. Yeah, well, you can jog on, and maybe you'll come back round when the time comes up again. But we'll have done our bit and brought our world in. So that's how I see it. But yeah, I think I've got seed kelp tablets. I've got a seed kelp drop thing. It's like, well, like I said, I'm going to go and finish my other bag off now, because I've got a second one to do of my little mermaid bag. Oh, it's raining. I can hear it raining. So yeah, I just thought I'd put my spin on. If you didn't listen to the beginning, you might have to go back on the whole, you know, Notre Dame thing, as in, was it something being knocked down to be built up again, and they've got the mosque in Jerusalem, so it can be built up for what it's meant to be, and maybe some things were saved because maybe some nefarious stuff's been happening there, or the opposite. You know, people are saying distraction. When is it a distraction, or is it their world's getting taken down? So are some of the things that go over the ley lines that need to be either knocked down and rebuilt, parts of it, maybe were used for things that they shouldn't be used for. And we're going to rebuild on the ley lines to pump out the positivity instead of what they've been used for, collecting or harnessing or whatever you want to say. Oh yeah, before I go, I have these cheesecakes for anyone who's arty-farty out there. And they come in the glass bowl, so they're a little bit dearer in a glass bowl, but I think it's better than the plastic ones, because I use these to put like paints in, mixing paints, or beads and things in when I'm jeweling and stuff, just like little collecting bowls, you know, you can put stuff in, and you can use them as ramekins, whatever you call when you're cooking your own little, what they call, caramel things. But I like the glass ones because you can use them for paint pots and different things, and or tea light holders or something, I don't know, in your garden or something, you know, so it's good. So yeah, definitely where we go one week wall. Trump was saying, I'll just say before I go for using metacmin, Trump did say last night, whenever it was, in his speech about the cathedral, and he said, he said in a Twitter, why don't they just put the water, when they drop it from the planes, and someone said, because it'll destroy the whole building. Macron knows about fires, and the firefighters, why don't they do that then, or do they not want it destroying, if anyone gets what I'm saying? So it's a bit like, yeah, why wouldn't they do that? Or is it the other way, they don't want to do that? Oh, thank you, Fifth. We love you too, and I love everyone in chat. You're really brilliant, even though sometimes I don't get what some people are going on about sometimes, so that's all good. Let me just see if I can find it. Oh yeah, and Joe Mass Pose has put on this guy here, as you probably can't see. Who is this in the building that wasn't supposed to be there, because no one was supposed to be in the building? Everyone's like, he's got a high-vis vest on. It didn't look like a high-vis vest to me. I'm not saying it isn't. It looked like a long overall with a, like, who is this? Everyone's laughing, going, oh, it's the Hunchback of Notre Dame, it's Gandalf, it's, you know, everyone's cracking the jokes out. Let me just see again. Or was it someone that was doing something that wasn't supposed to be there, or the other way around? Who knows? I don't know, but it's like, Dolly, look at this hangout. Hang on a minute. Let me go over to the real Donald Trump. Fox News, not surprisingly, somebody and the audience was so smiley and nice, very strange, and now we have, what's that? Oh, here, Trump put, so 20 hours ago, so horrible to watch the massive fire at Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. Perhaps flying water tankers could be used to put it out. Must act quickly. I was like, And just let me see what people have put. Someone's absolutely overtook that for some reason. Oh, don't know. Anyway, whatever. I'll just say sit back and watch what's going on. Oh yeah, I'll have to look on here. Fifth. Oh. $17. See, it says 21 on here and 17 on here when I'm looking. Oh, I'll check that out. I know about Rosie Jenner's channel. I will have a butcher's. Looks like they're doing some sort of meditating thing, is it? I'll have a look in a bit because I'm going now anyway. So yeah, I just keep saying keep watching. Don't believe what mainstream media say. There'll be something absolutely completely different behind what's going on, as we all know. So yeah. You're very good at it, and that's why I was saying, Fifth, there's lots of people doing different channels and they've got bringing different things. You know, like you've got the sky things, other people got other things, and there's all different things coming in with how what certain people can see. The video I put up today, fun enough, with the sun, was rubbish because you couldn't see what I could see properly. There was yellow and it looked like a red ring behind it, around it, and then when I looked up again, it looked like it went white, pale blue in the middle, green around the outside, like an aura, different colours, pale blue, purple, but lilac, like a very light purple. So I'm going to go, and I'll be looking around for some stuff later when I've started some of my other bag off and having a nose at what the news is pumping about the cathedral and stuff like that, and I'll have to check on some videos after and what Fifth's doing and that and stuff. But yeah, it's that I'm just sitting back, you know, like Q said ages ago, sit back with your popcorn and watch what's going on. Like I said, there is going to be bits of chaos and people getting confused, and that's why I think some people may do things to places of worship and that, which is not good, but because of all this stuff going on. But yeah, so guess we'll see. Apparently earthquake, Roseanne was saying about an earthquake, and then someone mentioned about earthquake in Silicon Valley. Like, really? Yeah, white. And also we've got that, I call it smog. You know, this cloud that just seems like a warm blanket of cloud. It doesn't look like a blanket of white. It doesn't even look like a cloud. Just one, like, you can't see no blue. It's just a white sky. Or are they hiding something to wait for, to show us something in the end? I don't know. You know, we got told the last one will be magical, so I guess we'll see. You're welcome. So I'm going to go. If you would like to oh, thanks Rachel, I'm rubbish, aren't I? Yes, if you'd like to donate to a coffee chat, it is my PayPal and my whatchamacallit, so you can tell I'm rubbish, Gmail, which Rachel has kindly put in chat. Yeah, chemtrails, Dolly. Yeah, I know that, but I see it as something else as well. You know, they will shift more in the end, but yeah, I'm just like, don't want us to see certain things, do they? But it does come through, if anyone knows what I'm talking about. But yes, I may be on tonight. I know I'm still supposed to be doing my collage thing. We just have to see how far I get, because I'm supposed to be focusing on my other stuff as well. But it may be tonight, maybe not, because I've come on now, because I keep meaning to put this collage earth thing together. So if I am, I'll be on at 9. If not, it will be tomorrow. I'll keep changing the days. I've just had things going on because the schools are still off. So Finn's still off nursery, so it's a little bit different for me, be a bit tighter and stuff with stuff. So that's the reason, because he's been off for 2 weeks. This is his last week, so this week might be a bit, if I say I'm coming on doing something, it may change because of that, but I'm sure you all understand. So, wonderful chat, thank you. Hard to catch you. Take care. Thank you, Divinity 5. And if you missed it, go back to the beginning. It's just my thoughts on what could be happening, I don't know, but we know it's not what mainstream media say, and it's not what Macron says, is it? No. It's not what he says. So, I've got to name this after, because it'll take a bit to download, and I'll have to name it, what was it? Coffee Chat and Waffles. So, Rachel, have you got your package yet? I can't remember what you said. Have you got it yet? I'm getting hungry. Did you get it yet, Rachel? Oh, where's the chat gone? I'm going to go check the video now, top of mind you want to see. Yeah, I'll be checking all them out later on. I need to tidy my table where I've been crafting, even though I've got a craft room. No. Oh, it might be tomorrow then. What day is it? When did I send it? I can't even remember. What day is it today? Oh, it's Tuesday. Yeah, it'll probably be tomorrow. I think you'll like the way I've wrapped it. I think you might have seen it, but it looks really cute. So I enjoyed doing that. So I'll catch you all. I won't say when, I'll just catch you all when I catch you. You don't get notifications anyway, so, do the old... I was going to say it's good night for me, and it's good night from Jack, but it's not good night, is it? And my hair's frizzy today because I've washed it, it's still damp. Can't be bothered, so it'll all be crimpy now. Crimpy hair. Smells nice though. Smells of strawberries. Crimpy. Can't be bothered straightening it, so let's see what it's doing at the minute. Still damp. Crimpy hair. Oh my god. The crimpy hair. So it's still wet. It's been drying since this morning. But that's all I do with it now. If I can't be bothered, I just put it in plaits down the side, or one in the side, and just leave it, and I'll plait it back up again, and it just keeps it firm. I tell you what, women, hair fall is a pain in the backside. I don't really brush my hair, that's probably why. That sounds a bit daft. The amount of hair fall, I could have knitted a bloody jumper out of my hair, It's just bonkers. Thank you. Mad drivers coming down the street. So, I shall catch you soon. Like I said, keep positive, because that's what needs to be. You need to just be thinking in a positive mindset all the time. Look for the silver lining, because that's what I believe is beating them as well. Especially with this ley line thing, if that's definitely what it is. And if you're interested in looking at things a different way, and you like the sort of Buffy the Vampire sort of stuff, even though they may be pumping stuff out for reasons, but I can see through it. Shadowhunters is good if you're into that sort of stuff. See, I don't like horror, but I don't mind stuff like Shadowhunters. It's got a few demon things in it, a little bit. It's not gory. It's just stuff I can watch, not proper horror. It's just like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Ages ago with Spike in it, and the old one, the series, and then there was Angel. It's a bit like that. So if you're into that sort of stuff and listen to what they say, they even mention the Kennedys. Hang on a minute, they even mentioned the Kennedys, and this is where I laughed, because we're talking about, I'm just going to go off now, the elites. So they said there was one in New York, one in London, and obviously one must have been Italy. So they're talking about the elites, these shadow hunters. I was like, oh yeah, let me see where I wrote it down. And they actually said one of the guys in it, one of the shadow hunters, was from an elite family sort of thing, and he said he didn't want to be like his father because his father was bad, and that's why I was saying, you can all go on about Trump and this, that and the other, where did he get his money from, and his family doesn't mean you have to turn out the same. And they actually mentioned I don't know if I wrote it down, something about the whatever the name was of this lad's family, I can't remember what it was. That's like the Kennedys of the where the Kennedys, which they were trying to say, they were good. I'm not saying all of them were good, but it's just funny how the Kennedys were mentioned in it. Loads of things in it. Is it a film? No, Tap, it's a series on Netflix. Yes, people get triggered by Netflix as well, but it's like, if you know how to, It's a series on Netflix called Shadow Hunters. So obviously it's about, it's about shadow hunters that go getting demons to the, so we're not getting hurt, the downworlders, we're the downworlders. And it's got vampires in it, werewolves, like all that sort of stuff anyway, werewolves and warlocks, which are the magicians. So they're all alongside each other, not at first blood, blah, blah, blah. It's one of them sort of things. A bit like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and it's called Shadow Hunters. It's a series. I'm just on series 2 now. Nearly got through it. Probably get it through today. When I get on something, I have to binge watch it. I was like, and there's an angel in it as well. I was like, oh, I can see what they're saying. You can see when you know what they're trying to say. So that's why I can watch stuff now and be like, oh yeah, well, I still enjoyed it anyway. But it's got fairies and things in it. I like all that sort of stuff. So it is called Shadow Hunters. If you're into that sort of stuff, it's not scary. Not one of them. It's just like, if anyone remembers watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer, an angel, it's like that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's just interesting. The second series, obviously I followed it through on the second series. The second series got more interesting with like, and a bit of a MK Ultra going on in it, but the way they put it out as if you wouldn't see it, as in like, oh, it's just this doesn't really happen. But you can tell if you know, you should be able to. So yeah, Netflix is mind control because we know it was owned by, but it's not mind control if you know what they're trying to put out, because I can see a lot of stuff in films now, the symbols and symbology of what they do, with the mind control subliminal messages. I can see it. But now I can see it, I think, oh yeah, I can see what they're trying to say. So we won't look at it like that. We'll look at it like this, and we'll go against the story. We know what they're trying to say. They try and put a lot of things out there in fantasy, which is real. You just think it's not, so you can sense it's like, oh, it's not real. This isn't really going on. But I do love stuff like that, so I look at it in a different way now. I'm aware of what they're saying. There's a difference with not being aware and thinking it's not really going on when you're like, but we'll follow the story to see what they're saying. If anyone gets what I'm sort of saying. That's how I see it anyway. So, I have a channel but not uploaded yet. So, I will catch you all when I catch you all. No one's getting notifications that well anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I may just chill out today and watch, do my other bag and chill out and watch the end of this series, because I might have a big ooh-ah moment at the... We're not going to have a big ooh-ah moment because we all know what the end result is. That, to like people, that's basically it. So keep positive and I'll see you soon.